What is up, F and True followers and wrestling fans? I'm JC Styles here with the F brand of wrestling and entertainment here on YouTube.com with my WWE Smackdown review for February 15th, 2013. It's a pretty good night on SmackDown, I have to say. I really enjoyed it, and this was the last SmackDown before this Sunday's Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Now, we start off the show with the Big Show. He comes out and he starts moaning and wailing about his match this Sunday, how Del Rio never pinned Big Show to win. He won the title on a 10 count with the Last Man Standing match and then retained it at the Royal Rumble in a Last Man Standing match. And that he goes on to say that Alberto Del Rio can't pin the Big Show and he will never pin him. Then Jericho's music hits and comes out, and Jericho talks about the history between Show and Jericho up and down the road traveling, how Jericho was a 6-time World Heavyweight Champion and Big Show was a multi-time champion. Talks about, basically the history between the two of them. And Show is pretty much like warning Jericho to get out of the ring, get out of the ring, get out of my face. And this goes on for about another minute or two, and then Booker T comes out and makes the match. But this is makes the match. This is after the fact that Chris Jericho said that he's going to win the Elimination Chamber match, and that if the Big Show wins the world title off Alberto Del Rio at the Chamber on Sunday, that he is going to go on and beat the Big Show at WrestleMania for the world title. Then Booker T comes out and says that we might not get that match at WrestleMania, so I'm going to do one better. I'm going to give it to the fans here in Little Rock, Arkansas, and he makes the match for the main event. Then we see Orton and Mark Henry, which ends up in a DQ when Randy Orton uses a steel chair on Mark Henry. Post-match, we see Mark Henry lay out Randy Orton not once but 2 weeks in a row with the World's Strongest Slam. Mark Henry cuts a promo backstage and says that WWE isn't wise for putting him in a steel confined structure, knowing what they can do to what he did to Randy Orton and what he could possibly do to the other 4 participants in the Chamber match. And it was just really, I don't really like Mark Henry as much, but I really like his promos because they're just down and dirty and just raw, and that's what I really like about it because he tells it how it is. He tells that if he's going to go out there and he's going to hurt somebody, he goes out and does it, and that's what I really like about Mark Henry since he's been back. It's just that mean streak he has and that he's always had it. And I always thought that Mark Henry was much better a heel than he was a face. I know he had a face run several times. He was also partnered with MVP as a tag team, so it was Mark Henry as a heel is a lot better and a lot more convincing than Mark Henry as a good guy. We then see Tamina. We see the announcement leading into Tamina versus Layla that we will see the Divas Championship on the line at Elimination Chamber when Caitlyn will defend the Divas Championship against Tamina. We then see Tamina defeat Layla in a pretty good match tonight on SmackDown. I said in my NXT review last night that I wish WWE would give the Divas a little more time in the ring to really showcase what they can do, because down on NXT, they give them a good solid 5 to 10 minutes, and they shine really well down there, and I wish that the WWE would do that more, and I guess they've been listening to my reviews over the last several weeks, because we got a good Divas match on SmackDown. Then The Rock comes out, talks about how CM Punk stole his WWE Championship, how that on Sunday at the Elimination Chamber, The Rock is going to beat CM Punk and take the title back. He talks about how it's personal, how you jumped The Rock and stole his property, and that how CM Punk made it personal. And I think that this was probably either a jab at The Rock for all those promos he had leading into WrestleMania 28 that he was appearing live via satellite, because CM Punk appeared live via satellite, which I thought was pretty funny. Also, I think this is the reason why is to keep Punk safe. I just did a quick update earlier tonight about CM Punk's current health status and that he is somewhat hurt a little bit, and WWE's trying to keep him at 100% for the Elimination Chamber and for WrestleMania. But this was a good promo. CM Punk comes out and talks about how the title is his, how The Rock committed grand larceny. I thought grand larceny was a Grand Theft Auto type thing. I thought it was something like, he stole like a car or something, but I don't know. I don't know the technical terms. But This was actually a good segment. I really enjoyed it. The Rock was very convincing in this segment. The Rock basically didn't go overemphasizing on the "if you smell what the Rock is cooking." He was dead serious, and we got a really good promo. We then see Tensai and Brodus defeat Three Man Band. I'm not gonna even talk about that match. We then see post match Shield attack Brodus and Tensai. Post match, they get on the mic and say that Cena, Sheamus, and the Ryback will need to believe in Shield, and that this Sunday at Elimination Chamber they will make them believe when they leave them laying in the middle of the ring. We then see a good match between The Miz and Cody Rhodes. The Miz is sporting a somewhat of an injured shoulder. I don't know if this is actually a work or if this was actually something that occurred, but he was had his shoulder taped up, and it was a really good, convincing match. Since I think Ric Flair being on Raw several weeks back and really being involved with the Miz, I think the Ric Flair kind of rubbed off on the Miz a little bit, and the Miz has been on fire since that, and he is actually getting a United States Championship shot. Hopefully, they don't take the title off of Cesaro because I really like him, and I think that. Him holding the title is making the title stand out a little bit more because he's defending it a lot lately. And on top of that, the Cesaro is just an all-around talented in-ring competitor. He's very in-ring technical. He has a great in-ring technical ability, is what I meant to say. But all in all, great match, and The Miz picks up the win with the figure four. We then see Jack Swagger with Zeb Cutler defeating Zack Ryder again. This is actually a decent, quick match to filler match. It wasn't nothing special. Zack Ryder tried his best to hang in there and just got overwhelmed and got beat with the Patriotic Justice, I think is what his finisher move is called. The Patriot Act, excuse me, which is an ankle lock. We then go into Big Show versus Jericho. This is match of the night. These guys, whenever they get in the ring together and they wrestle, they bring the house down. It was a fast-paced match. For Big Show, it was very back and forth. These guys didn't want to give an inch, and it made for a great match. Jericho coming back at the Royal Rumble and possibly starting a feud with Dolph Ziggler. Hopefully that he wins the Elimination Chamber. I've been saying this since Monday night. If Jericho wins the Chamber, I see Dolph Ziggler cashing in the Money in the Bank at Elimination Chamber and beating whoever is the winner of Del Rio's show. Or if they put the world title on first, I see Dolph Ziggler cashing in and winning whoever wins between Show and Del Rio, and then Jericho winning at the Smackdown Chamber match. We wind up seeing Big Show pick up the win after Jericho gets hit with the WMD. We see Alberto Del Rio, who's out on the stage, who came out during the middle of the match, stare each other down, and that's how we end the show. Like I said, nothing too big here. This was the show before Elimination Chamber. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, maybe more of the guys who will be competing at Sunday's Elimination Chamber. All we got was Randy Orton and Mark Henry and Chris Jericho in this match. So I would have, like I said, and Jack Swagger. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the Chamber guys. But thumbs up for SmackDown. It was great. If guys, leave your comments in the comment box below and let me know what you thought of Friday Night SmackDown and what you have liked to have seen different on tonight's episode. And for the effing brand of wrestling and entertainment, I'm JC Styles, and I'll catch you later.